Hey everybody, I'm Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations, and in this video I want to show y'all how to make your own wire leaf. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm really hopeful that the time-lapse footage that I got of trying to make this leaf frame worked out. The best advice I can give you guys is to just practice and find yourself some pretty leaves outside, and sometimes less is more. Trying to fit every single little tooth and vein isn't necessarily the best way of going about it, at least for me, but I highly recommend that you experiment and you find what suits you and your style and your taste. So, and you could also just as easily do this with a very simple, like, leaf frame, which I will show you guys real quick how to do. So let's start with, this is 20 gauge wire, and I'm just going to grab it about in the middle, and I'm going to do a bend, and I'm actually going to let it turn sideways. That's a really great way of getting a very pointy point in wire wrapping, as you can kind of see, like that. And so now from here, you can shape however you like. Get a nice thick, like birch or elm shape. You could also just as easily make your point and then come in with, this is just a little bead container. And in this way, if you want to make earrings or something, this would be a really great way actually to make your earrings symmetrical. As you can come in, you could mark with a Sharpie or something up here on the top where you want your bends to happen. Though for an earring, I would recommend, I think, like this is a good pendant size, or some big old earrings. Or you could come in with, this is a 1-inch bead container. And just bend around. And I think this would be, for my own personal taste, this would be a nice size for some earrings. And then we can come in with our flat nose again and either bend both up, or I'm going to do one end down as a spiral. So I'm going to snip that. I'm going to come in, since this is 20 gauge wire, I can get away with using my very fine tipped round nose pliers without it being too difficult. Though I find that these have a tendency to bite into my 18 gauge, I have to squeeze it so much, really. And so we can come in, sorry for the pounding noises, there's chronically construction going on in the property across the way from us, so that's that. But yeah, so I would recommend hammering this everywhere except for on the very tippy tip, because you don't want to get too much of a pinch on that wire, but you can hammer it and then just do a little bit of coiling wrap right there, and then maybe make another spiral on the top, or make a bail, just however you want. So that's a very brief way of making a frame. So from there, let us try on this, oh, I hope this comes out nice, on this maple leaf. I have cut 20 different lengths. Some of them are quite short, some of them are a little bit longer, because I figure I don't need as much wire to get to just the tips here. This is very similar in construction concept to whenever, like if you've ever made a wire tree of life or something. The very, very similar concept to that. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this and clip it. Well, it's not really grabbing very well at all, is it? I guess I'll use my fingers. So I'm just going to twist, and this will be our bail, because I was thinking about just having it be twisted in like a little loop off the top, almost like the end of a pumpkin vine. I don't think that's going to work, though. I think that would be very pokey. So we have our bail, and we can take this around some mandrel pliers, or in this instance, I actually think I'm just going to use a mandrel. You could also use a pen or a knitting needle, or really anything that you have. Just and I'm going to do 2 solid twists, and this should get us. That is a very stable bail, even though it's a lot of very thin wires. Together they're all very strong, and there's no little pokey bits, so that will be very good, I think. And then from here we can begin I'm actually going to open this one up a bit because I think I'm going to bend that around towards the back. Originally I had thought that would be the bail. Plans have changed since then. So we can actually use this wire to go around. And that's our neighbors. It's a beautiful day outside, so I can't blame people for being out and about. I just ask for y'all to be patient as we have some very unprofessional noises happen. If the camera even picks up on that at all. Okay, so I've stabilized our bail a little bit. And we can actually come in and bring some on top of, like, we can just do whatever we want. We're out of control. Down the center line. Now I am going to bring a short wire. Where's a short wire? Here's a short wire. Out, because I want a wire at least going down that end. And then I'm going to bring another short wire out this side. To give us something to bind. And so again, this is going to be very, very similar to the wire trees that I've made in the past in different tutorials, in that we have our center core coming down. But I want to follow this vein pattern, as you can see in this leaf here. So instead of having it just be one main leaf, I'm going to have, let's do 3 wires off to the side directly. Four would be nice though. Let's do 4. I know I'm kind of just making this up as I go, you guys, so nothing is set in stone. Follow your own inspiration or bumble along with me, just however. And this is gonna feel super duper just tricky, y'all. You got this. So going down from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. And that will give us our veining. And also we can make this a very, very realistic leaf, very true to type and biologically correct, or we can do what I'm probably going to do and make it just a nightmare of chaos and bumbling. So welcome to the party. Okay, there we go. I'm picking our 4 shortest. Had I thought ahead, I would have had them positioned slightly better, but this is life now. So we're doing all 4 twisted, and then just 3 twisted, like that. And then let's just do 2 twisted, and then we're just 1. Very cool. And I am going to continue this down all the way because right now, since I haven't started binding anything off, if I didn't do enough wires, or if they're too short or something like that, if a change needs made, right now it's as easy as just detaching up at the top. Whereas if I start actually binding things and then I get to the tip and I'm out of wire, oof, that's a bad time. So I'm going to twist. Also, this is probably going to look very, very messy, but oh well. So, and I'm gonna bring off a wire from each side, but I don't want them, it doesn't look like they happen perfectly symmetrically. Like, it's not like, other than here at the base, where the veins branch off, it's alternate down the stem, though not perfectly rhythmically alternate. I don't know. It seems like the tree was just making it up as it went as well. So again, you do you. But sometimes little design elements like that can make a big difference in how natural something looks, or just whatever you're going for. So again, just doing more twists, finding the wire that's just closest to the top, really. That way it makes a nice clean break away from the rest of the twisting, and out that way. And sometimes if you're not pulling evenly from both halves of the wire that you're twisting, you might need to redistribute. There we go. Words are possible. And just keeping that twist going. And that is our center leaf spine down the center. I wonder how many times I can say center in a sentence and have it be like pertinent to the tutorial. Trying to uncluster all of this. And it also does seem like things get a little bit more, the veins become more dense the closer to the tips that we get. So if you feel like you've messed up or something isn't as accurate as you would have liked, don't hesitate to kind of unwind what you've done and do it again. There. Let me try to grab there. Okay. So there we go. To maintain our center tension, I am going to come through and do the very tip first. I'm pulling all of these other wires just back and out of the way, and I'm going to wrap around the back side like that right there, so it's making a loop. And then to pull its tension on itself, I'm hooking around. And do you see how that kind of pulled just on itself? And then from here, I'm going to do at least 5 wraps. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm not going to snip that just yet because, again, we may need to change things, and it is not yet too late, but once I've snipped it, it makes it a little bit more set in stone. So now I'm going to come through, coming around on one side, and I'm going to hook around to stabilize, if you can see, just like that. And I find that just maintains a little bit of tension. And I'm going to try really hard to clear out just... Oh boy, send help. Clear out the background, that way maybe it'll focus a little bit better. And also, maybe, if I dare, zoom in a little bit. Oops, loud noises. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now also, I am going to keep doing this in real time, but YouTube has a very handy feature where you can just skip ahead, or you can put it in like 2 times speed and watch it in like a little bit faster, and I'll sound a little bit more like a chipmunk. But I'm going nice and slow for just in case I don't want to miss something for you guys if that might be helpful to you. So from here, again, I'm wrapping around, and I'm going to try to have my coiling climb up the edge of the leaf in the same direction on each side. So for this one, I've wrapped around the back side there, and now I'm going to come across the front to get that tension going, like that. And you don't have to do this part if you're having problems with your wire breaking. I kind of like the way it looks. Then we have 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. There we are. Let's give it a smush. Keeping that nice and tense. So there we have, that's 2. Let me reposition. Okay, sorry, I don't know why I was holding my breath. I was like, ooh, we're doing wire wrapping. So that's a thing. Now I am going to keep this leaf on hand to kind of try to give myself something to roughly follow along with. Okay, so I'm wrapping around. I'm not going to have it go down into the tip. I'm going to have that be like this one come down into the tip, because the way that the veining on the leaf is kind of at a much stronger angle. Okay, so yeah, the longest of the wires that I cut to make the veining like this was like 12 inches. So just to give you an idea, and you could cut all of them at 12 inches if you just don't want to have to worry about it, but you can see that left us with quite a bit of scrap here at the end. Which, who knows, I may end up utilizing it, so I don't want to speak too soon. So there's 1 wire. Oh, this does just like being tricky, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm actually going to rotate it around. Never hesitate to, if you're having difficulty with something, sometimes setting it down, walking away, coming back, picking it up, holding it differently, can really make some big differences. Oh yeah, this is so much easier. Okay, because I can just get my fingernail against it and pull it down tight. So there's 3, and I also grip it with my grab with my fingers on the back, and I've lost count, but I think that's 5. There we go. Now also, we could have made this much more dense too, and I think that would have looked really neat. But there's always the next pendant, and there's always seeing how y'all do it. So if you guys follow along with this tutorial and post to like social media, be sure to tag us, Back to Earth Creations, or Yvonne Williams, or Craft Along with Vaughn, just whatever you like. And you can also, oh, that didn't even go through the frame. You can also send us an email to backtruthcreations@yahoo.com with a high quality image of what you've made, as well as a short artisan bio, and links to your social media or wherever you'd like for us to direct people to, and we can feature you in our weekly newsletter that at the time of recording has over 500 people signed up for, which I'm really just amazed, like that there are that many people who want to participate and be involved in this, and I'm like, that's amazing, you guys. Okay, woo, throwing my pliers. In a perfect world where future Vaughn actually edits this, hopefully there won't be loud plier noises, but I don't have a very high expectation of future self, so I'm just glad I'm actually shooting a tutorial. And 1 more, we'll make it 5, I think. Sure, why not? There we go. and given that a proper smush and a little tug. That's coming out pretty nice. And now this one I'm going to have go towards the tip. So I'm going to do very similarly to how we did before, where we've wrapped around the tip of the frame, and then I'm going to come through right there. And so you can see now, hopefully, if I tug on that, how it pulls that tension. That is exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm going to just loop it now around this side. There's one. There's two. There's three. And 4 and 5. Go however slow or steady as what you feel like you need to. There's no sense in rushing this. It could take you all week if you want. Just do a vein, set it down, come back to it later. There we are. And now we're going to do that same thing as before, but we don't want to mess up, or we don't want it to get kind of interwoven with the other coiling. So I'm just wrapping around the tip like that, and then making that little bit of a knot, and then pulling it nice and tight. And then we're going to go 1, flump, and 2, flump, and 3, flump. Sorry. Not sorry, I'm not gonna stop. Flomp, I've lost count. I think that was 4 and 5. I may not be your cup of tea, but I wasn't brewed for you. But I do appreciate y'all watching. I hope that this is helpful to you, even if it's going a bit too slow. And I'm just going to tidy these up for no reason other than sometimes it's fun to just pet your jewelry. Oh, that's nice. I like that. I'm already thinking of ways that we could come through and make this center a little bit more tidy, but I don't know if that's necessary yet. Now also, this is a great opportunity to kind of test position. I don't need this wire as close to everything, so I think I'm going to have it be the one that comes off to the side here, and then that one can come off to down there, and then this one can be the one that goes down to that tip, and then this one can be the, yeah, that could work, down to that tip. Oof, and then we've run out of wires that are going this way. Oh no, that is not good. Okay, well, and that's why we do this, so that we can know. So there's another one. Maybe I can take another wire out of this guy. Oops. So I've removed a wire from higher up, but you can see he's detaching from the rest of the veins very, very high up. So I'm actually going to start wrapping him down. That way he will kind of line up with our other wires a little. Okay, yeah, there he goes. So that's a pretty good density. And I think to simplify things, I am going to go through and trim just a bit off. That one doesn't need to be so long, that one doesn't need to be so long, neither do those two, neither does that one. And that's just getting us a little bit more out of the way so that we can manage this other just cluster of pretty wire. I'm going to bring this spiral. I want that opened up just a little bit more. Sorry, I don't mean to wander out of frame. Whoops. And wandered right back out of frame, didn't I? There we go. So now that's actually positioned how I'd like. Thank you, Leaf. You've been wonderful. Oh man, this is not going how I wanted it to. Like, I really wanted like a little bit more of a tidy branching out of these topmost veins, but we'll see what we can do with this. Because I may, if I find myself unable to do a nice tidy veining, I may just come through and make it look like tree branches and make it all kinds of wonky and weird and fantasy-esque. See, those three are going to be branching off into that part. This is going to be branching off into up here. I'm going to try to untangle this mess. There we go. Yep, okay. Sorry not to like breathe directly in your ear. I guess though technically this could classify as ASMR, but I don't know if I'm about that life. Okay, so I am gonna have this wire be part of this bunch. Just cause, why not? Okay, giving that a nice twist because I wanted it to look a little bit more cohesive, like it was supposed to be that way. Okay. Alright, now we can start. I don't know if any of that was in frame. I was so focused. I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm bringing this wire, yep, to the front there like that. And then I'm going to bring this around. And I'm going to grab it with my pliers. And I'm going to pull it through. And then we're going to come through on the other side. And then I'm going to pull it through. Like that. And I'm going to feed it through. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to be very careful to make sure our coils are stacking next to each other, not on top of each other. And then there's 4. And there's 5. Perhaps. Nope, that's getting weird. Okay. Okay. Again, I'm not going to snip it just yet because I'm not entirely certain what I'm doing in my life. But, okay. Then I'm going to have this vein come down this way, hooking it through the back. Oop. Yep, and then hooking through. That way we can create that tension without wrenching down on the frame. There we go. And then we can go 1, coil around. Oh, this is so messy. Like, all of these wires are just an absolute nightmare. Like, So if you're feeling frustrated with your wires, you're good. You've got this. That's okay. That was 2. And 3. Be careful because this is a delicate enough frame currently that it will kind of distort a little. Because we could go through, y'all, after this is all said and done, and cover the whole thing in lead-free solder and make it look like it's cast from silver, which would be really cool. Let me know if you guys are interested in a tutorial on how to do that in the future. We could dip it in an electroform bath and grow some copper, like, it's basically copper plating. Oh no, I was about to do bad. But in a very thick, sometimes bumpy manner. Like if you do the amps up high enough, it'll give it like some really cool texture, and it could make it look like a skeletized leaf a little. That might be really cool. We could cover it in UV resin and put alcohol inks in it, and like, I don't know, the possibilities are endless. Okay. Now there are some veins, and I've really been neglecting this, but there are some veins that travel down as one and then split further, like if this is the main river and these are little tributaries, you can see where the little veins join in together. Or capillaries, I think, is well, that's a human word, isn't it? Okay, well, anyways. So I'm going to take those guys and get them out of the way. I'm going to wrap around the tip. You can see how it's not centered up at all. But then once we've wrapped around it, like how we do, and we pull, it pulls it into the center of that tip, which I really like that. Yeah, I'm just going to guide those out of the way. It's driving me bonkers. Okay, so there's one coil. There's two coil. There's three coil. 4. Again, making sure of our placement. And 5. And give it a smush for good measure. Smoosh. There we are. And now we can come in and, yeah, just gonna keep working our way around. We're making good time, you guys. Ish. Oh boy. So I'm gonna pull this through. Oop, oop, and feed that through. We're just crossing over, just kind of locking it in place as it slides around willy-nilly. And traffic noises from outside. And there's one. There's 2. There's 3. 4. And 5. And to maintain tension, I know I've been focusing on this one side a whole lot, but we need to go through, I need to make sure that I'm doing the same things on the other side, because otherwise it can be pulling one side of the leaf in more than the other. Now, a good thing is that, you know, in nature, leaves look different from each other sometimes. So there is that. I think I'm going to join these guys together as well. But so again, it didn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but it can sometimes distort your leaf beyond what looks within the realm of what is convincing for a leaf to look like if that makes sense. Like people almost sometimes will have an expectation of, oh, that looks like a leaf, even if it doesn't really look like exactly like how a leaf does. And some leaves that you can pick in nature will look so like it'll almost look like a toddler drew it, and then the leaf just grew that way. Like it'll be all twisted and kind of lopsided and weird. And you're like, really, leaf? And it's like, what? This is me. And you're like, okay. So, wow, I'm pretty sure none of that made any sense whatsoever. I'm so sorry. Oh well, keep on wrapping. So, Yeah, we've got that wrapped around and we've fed it through, and now we're going to pull down because we've got it around that tip and tightens it and keeps it centered up. And now I'm going to do the 5 wraps. And then our 5th wrap, pull that tight and smoosh. There we are. I'm really liking how that's coming out, y'all. And I am going to trim that one down a bit just because it's making me insane. Okay, so now come around and grab it and pull through, snug, snug. There we go. Bring it around, pull through, snug, snug. Bring that around, pull through. There's one. We're getting so close, you guys. There's 2. Oh no, and my battery is dying. It's at 15%. Oh no. I've lost count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. And there we go. There's 5. That looks kind of leafish, right? Right. Sure it does. Okay. So I'm going to wrap around. I'm going to lock it down. And then there's 1. There's, whoops, got a bit of a tangle going. That's alright. Oh crap, no it's not. Oh, this is the worst. There we go. No we don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to pull that back out from whence it came. There we go. Okay. Oh boy. So that's 1. And there's 2. And there's 3. 4. You can be a lot more heavy-handed with this if you make your frame out of something heavier than 20 gauge. But 20 gauge is what I had on my work surface, and I find it very sculptable. So here we are. Okay. And so again, just like how we were doing one side and then the other, on this part, I'm going to do one side and then the other to try to get it, keep it, the weight balanced, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Okay, coming around, and then cinching down. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited too. We are in like the final stretch. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's 1. Don't want to be getting any kinks in the wire. There's 2. There's 3. 4 and 5. There we are. Give it a nice little smush. I think I love this, you guys. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm going to show y'all a little trick at the end, too. To make the leaf look even more leafish. Okay, so there's snagging. Okay. And then one. I bet this would look amazing out of a bunch of different metal colors as well. I'm thinking there's probably ways that we can incorporate a cabochon or some crystals or some chip beads. 3. 4 and 5. Woo. Like, I'm like jitters. I got butterflies flopping around inside my tum-tum. Like, I'm so excited to see how this piece comes out. I'm very, very nervous because unlike most of my pieces whenever here lately that I've been doing tutorials of, I did not do a prototype of this one. So I really hope this doesn't come out horribly. So again, doing that little bind off. I really like that for maintaining tension, by the way. Like, I know I've said that already, but I'm liking it more and more. Because again, like I just said, I did not test run this, so I didn't know that this would work out that well. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Get those guys snipped. That guy snipped. It makes it more pokey, but I do think it makes it just minutely more manageable. Oops, swapped the tripod. I'm going to pause right here, which to y'all that won't mean anything because I'll just like magic back into existence through the power of editing. But I'm going to plug my phone in for a minute and give my hands just a moment. And then I'll meet y'all right back here. Okie dokie, by the power of editing, I have had a snack break and I have come back much refreshed and am going to do the center of the center wire of this piece. Now, since we backtracked a little bit, I do want to straighten out the little kinky bits from where we unwound it. So I'm coming through this way. Wrapped around, cinching it down, and I'm gonna do our 5 rotations. So there's 1, and there's 2, and 3, 4, and 5. Boop, just like that. Well, hey, pretty kitty, what's up? Okay. I know. It's hard being a cat all the time with no sympathy from anybody. Okay, so I'm coming around this way. And pulling that and coming through there. Getting that cinched down. So now we're going to go through here, grab it, and let's give that a smush. Okay, that's 1, 2, and 5. Smush. Okay. Now I want this one to be a little farther up. So I'm just going to wrap it around a bit and then do it right there. So again, wrapping around, trying to keep things from getting tangled if we can manage it. Put it through. There we go. So cinching. Very cool. Okay, so now there's 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, and 5. Y'all, we have 2 wires, and then we can start the tidying up process. Okay. So truthfully, this one I'm just kind of popping it over here. Not too worried about it being like perfect because I don't even honestly know what I'm doing. Okay, so there's that. Pop it through there. Very good. Now I am just going to, it's kind of going in the opposite direction of what I had intended, but oh well. 1. I was mostly consistent, and that's a start. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Okay, and so now on this end, I'm going to wrap around the tip. Push that over just a bit so we can get the wire through, so we can make it be centered. Oh, it's big thump. It's looking pretty cool. What you up to, critter? I know. She wants to go outside, but it's busy traffic right now, so I'm going to keep her in. Much to her dismay. 3. 4. And last one, y'all. 5. Okay. So now, here I have a wooden dapping block. I want something that's just going to give us some nice, gentle curves and things coming through, like kind of in one spot and doing them in one direction, and then coming through and doing them in another. It's going to give our leaf some nice dimension. That way it's not just flat leaf. And you could use like the bottom of a bowl or something for that as well. And now I'm going to come through and snip, and then with my bent nose pliers, because I do prefer the angle that those give me, we are going to give a very solid smushing to make sure that everything is nice and not pokey. Now, since we have established which side is going to kind of be the front, I do want any potential pokey bits to be on the front. That way, if you're wearing a sweater or if you have particularly delicate skin, you won't be able to feel any odd pokey bits. So you can see how that's poking up. We're going to come in with our pliers and smoosh and smoosh. So that it's not poking up. And we are just going to go through. I used to snip all of them and go through and try to tidy them up, and I had a higher fail rate at that. So I prefer to just give each one my undivided attention, make sure it's perfect, and then move on. And I do this after any shaping and any tweaking, because sometimes, even like this, if I were to tug on one of these wires or if I were to do that shaping, it might come out, like it might twist a little bit or something and shift that pokey bit out of place. And snip and smush. And snip and smush. Oh, didn't mean to go out of frame. I mean, I'm never like, mwahaha, I shall go out of frame and you can't see what I'm doing, burr. Like, that's not the case. I'm just, for somebody who's a professional YouTuber, I'm ragingly incompetent, and I always appreciate y'all's patience with that. So, there's one side. And you can save all these little copper bits and we can melt them down later. Or saving up and recycle them. I'm really liking the way that looks, y'all. And by going through and hammering the frame first, it gives us some nice like flashing too. So this piece in particular will be up for sale at the time of recording. It is October of 2020. And we're going to be having an auction, a scary good time, on October 30th. Teehee. And I wanted to have some really cool, like, autumn-y themed things. And what with all the leaves falling about the yard, I was like, hey, we should do some leaf stuff. So if you guys enjoy my work and would like to take some home with you, be sure to check out our calendar on our website, backtooearthcreations@yahoo.com. I post our tutorial schedule and our premieres. Like, shout out to everybody who's watching this in the premiere. Hey, give yourself a high five for me. And our live streams and our exclusive streams through our Craft Along Club, which I am going to take an opportunity to thank our sponsor, which is you guys. All of our videos are brought to you by our very generous supporters through what used to be Patreon and is now our Craft Along Club. Randy and I just wanted a platform that gave us and the users a little bit more control over like charge dates and all the different kind of customer service. Callie agrees, or something. She actually just wants to go outside and attack the squirrels, but not today, little one. But thank you guys so much for everything that you do for us. Even by just being here, watching our videos, you've made a huge difference for us in our livelihood. And we also, for as little as $1 a month or $12 a year, you can get exclusive access to our weekly live streams on Saturdays through our Craft Along Club. And we also do like cab boxes and Craft Along kits and all sorts of different things over there. So if you're inclined, be sure to go over and check that out. And if not, please just keep enjoying our content, because that's what we're here for. 3 more wires. So excited. Now, I'm not going to be oxidizing this piece just yet. I think I may do a separate tutorial showing how I oxidize and polish some of my different pieces. My main concern with this one will be in the oxidizing and then polishing up. I'm not sure how all of our little wires will respond to being beaten up with a rotary tool, like with a little sanding disc on a rotary tool. So that's why I think I might just leave it as is and let it patina naturally on its own. But y'all, I really like how they came out. That's like very like dainty, pretty durable. Now I do think I may run it through my tumbler full of stainless steel shot and like sunshine burnishing compound, and that will kind of work harden all of it. I think that might be pretty cool. Now also, something that we could do, you guys, and we may address in a future tutorial, would be, let me rummage and find maybe a very cool little, that stone's a bit big, but we could actually come through and set a stone. Oh, sweet baby. Okay, I gotta go let the cat out, you guys. But we could incorporate some different stones and crystals and things into a piece like this, and I'm really interested to explore those options in the future. So there's somebody popping a wheelie out in front of my house. Wow. What an adventurous day. Okay, well, this is the end of the video. Hey guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me during this video. I do hope that it was helpful to you. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave them down below. Also, if you enjoy our free tutorials and would like to support the creation of them, as well as get access to behind the scenes content, our Saturday exclusive streams, digital download content, all sorts of different stuff, as well as our craft along kits and cab boxes, please consider joining our craft along club. There's more information about that again down below, or you can go check out our website, backtoearthcreations.com, where we also have a calendar at the bottom of the main page where you can see all of our schedule for the month. So like our live streams, our premieres, our shop updates, all of those different things, as well as our auction, in case you want to take some of our pieces home with you. All of that info is over there as well. So thank you guys so much for everything that you do for us and just for being here. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.